Well, mixed lighting aside, hello peeps. It is now 2024, and I figure I'm going to pull an 8-bit guy here and make a bit of a off the cuff, well, not very good looking video, but mostly just as a talking head video for the sake of getting some words out in front of the camera in the easiest way possible. Yeah, honestly, I've got a lot of things I want to say in front of the camera and just haven't had the time or means to actually do it. So I figure with it being the new year, it's a better time than any to just go ahead and grab yourself a cold beverage and, well, get into the main event. I don't know how else to say it, really. All right. All right. And with that, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm not going to go in any particular order because, well, I just want to talk about what's ever on my mind and just get it into the camera. So bear with me on this. So yeah, 2023. That was, not my favorite year. I mean, 2020 wasn't either, but there's other reasons for that, obviously. But 23 was a particularly challenging year for not just me, but our family as a whole. We've been through quite a lot of events this year, a lot of which have taken up quite a bit of my time, and not the least of which is a passing of my grandfather on my mother's side, which was not fun. That happened in February, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say. It was a real tragic thing for us because there was a lot of hardships and crap that went along with that, and let's just move on from that. And my sister, I mean, bless her heart, I love her, but she came back from North Dakota, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but it's just been more stuff on our plate to manage and to be responsible for. And I love the kids that she has. They're real sweet kids, but man, are they a handful. And I'm just going to put it that way. Being an uncle has been quite the challenge, and I'm just not prepared for it. And that was something unexpected that suddenly became my reality about May, June, somewhere in that range. I can't remember exactly. This year kind of flew by real fast, and I'm pretty sure 2024 is going to be similar. So I guess I'm going to get my safety equipment on because, it's going way too fast. So in any case, so I'm not going to try to rephrase everything that happened in my 2023. That's not my intent with this video. I just wanted to put a little bit of perspective on things, not the least of which is my reality currently being at my grandmother's house and kind of being a pseudo caretaker. And it's not perfect. Obviously, I'm not going to get into the specifics of that either, but it's been a thing. So I'm just putting that into perspective for those who are curious about what happens behind the scenes. And again, there's quite a lot that happens behind the scenes. So why am I saying this? Well, going into the new year, 2024, I feel like things are going to start getting a little bit more complicated around here, and it's not in a bad way. I'm not trying to make this in a bad light here, although the lighting is bad. We have mixed color temperatures, so that's going to trigger everybody. But what I'm saying is that it's just going to be more responsibility for me to take care of things around the house, not just the chores, but just some other things that are going to be going on. And of course, I'm not the only person that's doing this, mind you. Of course, I've got help externally from obviously my sister and my mother, and my brother also helps out too. So, awesome for them when they're able to do it. So I'm not alone in this journey of figuring out caretaking as a young adult when I've got a lot of other things that I should theoretically be doing. But it is what it is. You figure out your journey in life and your pathways and all that stuff. So whatever. Okay, enough of the boring drama stuff, because otherwise I could keep going on about that and how stressed that makes me. But I figure I'll get into some brighter topics, not the least of which is going to be, of course, YouTube. 2023 was a terrible year for my YouTube. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. I just didn't upload that many videos. I've recorded more than I was uploading in hopes that I could try to get something figured out as far as motivation, time, or otherwise. And that just didn't happen. Realistically, I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the want to make videos. And that was a personal choice of mine. I didn't want to push myself to do something and make a crappy half-assed video that not a lot of people would probably want to watch, at least Maybe not in the future, maybe out of the gate or something. Some people might, but you get the thing with YouTube. So, excuse me, I was trying to burp there, I guess. So I just, honestly, I put it aside. I had too many things on my plate and not enough time to manage all of it. So I just dropped YouTube as a priority for that moment in time. It wasn't worth it. And it's definitely showed. I mean, revenue for the channel has never been a concern of mine. It never has been, and it probably never will be for a while, if that even is a thing that happens. But being clear, I mean, the channel right now, last I checked, the YouTube Studio Analytics was around $35 a month. Yeah. I mean, of course, I know I'm a small channel, less than 5,000 subscribers still, which is bound to change this year. I'm almost absolutely certain. So, yeah, there is going to potentially be a 5,000 subscriber special around this year at some point. But that's neither here nor there. But while it's never been for the money, it was a bit of a discouraging factor because I was like, well, this isn't really a form of passive income. It never really has been. I mean, it was when I was in college, when I was able to do it more full time, when my education and being stuck indoors meant that I had a lot of free time on my hands that I could do that sort of thing. But, you know, being realistic now with a full-time, full-shift job and a lot of responsibilities on my tool belt to be keeping a track of or whatever. I phrased that wrong, but you get the idea. It's just not a realistic thing anymore. And looking at it this way, there was a lot of things that I could have done differently, not the least of which, and of course, this isn't no fault to anybody, but I probably could have spent a lot less time probably being inside of Discord voice chats. And of course, if you don't know, I have a Discord server, and so I manage that. And it's great to have the community that I have, all the friends that I've met, and all the nice people in there. Obviously, again, no fault to anybody, so I'm not pointing fingers. This is all just, you know, me. I probably should have spent less time in voice chats and spending more time working on the things that probably should have mattered rather than just hanging out. Now, I'm not against socialization in a community server like that. I like hanging out with people and doing things, and sometimes it's fun. It's actually quite a lot of fun. But it also meant that what I wanted to do, all of my projects and all that stuff, as far as that's concerned anyway, those all slipped, and they're still behind. There's still like, oh God, dozens of videos that I have not even began. And there's a lot that I'd like to do. And so I figure, going into the new year, I'm going to actually try to be more active with making videos is kind of what I've wanted to do for a while now. And I feel like things are going to get a little bit better as time goes on. And like I said, I've got dozens of video ideas. And that's not even an exaggeration. I mean, that's realistically what I have. I mean, I've got all kinds of things like that back there, which I haven't made a video about yet, although there's nothing special about it. Plenty of benchmarking videos that I wanted to do, and lots of other fun projects that I could see myself making videos on or live streams on potentially. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up too, because I mentioned it previously at some point. I genuinely can't remember when. It doesn't cross my mind. But with regards to live streams and such, I wanted to try to do it on a more regular basis, but I feel like what people come to my channel for are the videos. And, you know, live streams are a great fun component, and they're really engaging, and so you can have a lot of fun with those. And I'm not saying I won't do those. Of course, obviously, the New Year's special stream, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And I want to do stuff like that again in the future. Realistically, though, I don't see it happening once a week, and it might not even happen once a month. Although that might change. I don't know. We'll see how things go. But I would still like to do them again, more regularly than just one a year. I think that would probably make a lot more sense for what I'm doing. And maybe there could be some fun topics that we could venture into with regards to the live streaming. But that's a topic for another day. But I feel like people come to my channel primarily for watching my videos. And in no particular order, of course, I make videos doing, you know, the computer restorations. I've done those. Those are pretty decent. I did the benchmarking videos, and those are all right. It just depends ultimately on the piece of hardware being reviewed. Some do better than others. And some people, they like the software videos. You know, again, some do better than others. So being real with the videos and that side of things, honestly, what I would like to do is to focus more on the videos this year. That's what I'd like to do, which means more time is going to get put into that and less time gets put into other things. Now, of course, being realistic, I'm still going to be at the full-time, full-shift job. So with that, obviously Discord is going to be the thing that takes a bit of a back seat as far as the voice chats, as far as me potentially being active with people in there. I'm not abandoning it. I can't English. Rather, I'm just setting it aside. It's kind of like what I did with YouTube. It's not that I stopped consuming videos. In fact, I consume videos literally every single day, and yet I don't pay for premium like a plebeian, but I don't really think that's important for this conversation. But I want to get back into the swing of making videos again. I missed that feeling of satisfaction of putting a video out up to my channel and seeing the views come in, seeing the comments come in, whether good or bad. It's fun. It's a great thing. It's a great feeling. It never goes away. And as long as there's content for me to make, obviously there's no shortage of it, then of course there's going to be stuff for everybody to enjoy. And I want that to continue going into the new year. And with that, I mean, I'm going to do a little bit of Discord server work in the meantime. I can't imagine that I'm going to get to a video right away. I've got too many things going on, not the least of which is, well, I have no freaking space here because of many reasons, not the least of which is, of course, the stuff that I'm sitting next to and sitting on, rather. That's not staying here. I'm just using this as a prop for the video, but this couch is not staying. That's my sister's. And once she gets a house figured out for her and her kids, then that just means that this stuff goes and we get to make some free space again, and I can kind of regain some kind of freedom in this household, which is not the case right now. We got too much in the way of baby stuff and my sister's stuff, and I'm not complaining. I mean, I have my own stuff too, but you know, it's one of those things where it's making it not motivating to work on my stuff because the stuff's in the way. I can't think of what it is. I can't think of the term. I'm pretty sure somebody could correct me, but I'm not worried about it. But anyways, I digress. My point being is videos are going to hopefully make a return, and actually for real this time. That's kind of the goal. It's not without its complications. Of course, like I said, the day job, of course, it's going to be caretaking my grandmother and dealing with the house and the chores and the stuff alongside that because, of course, she can't do everything anymore, and that's being asked upon me. So it's a lot of work on my shoulders, but I definitely still have this hobby in my head, and it's not going away anytime soon. Obviously, I've got too much stuff to worry about with regards to that hobby that it's ever going to change, so don't expect that it's going to change. Like, I still enjoy the old tech that I have, and I still have all that stuff for the most part. And actually, I should bring this up too, because I mentioned the video making part. I actually want to, I think I'm going to do like some kind of a video series, if you will, where I go through all of my stuff. I did it before. I want to do it again. And mainly it's just for the sake of my record keeping. But it also could make a fun series. I mean, I could go through all my desktops and my laptops and just kind of see what stuff works. Now, I'm not going to probably do everything in a video, being realistic. What I might do is I might do a live stream series to kind of kick it off. And I know not everybody's into live streaming for that sort of thing because it's longer form content. Not everybody has the time to watch it. So, you know, I understand. I'm kind of deciding on how I want to do it. I mean, I could do videos for all of it. That's totally fine. I could do live streams for all of it, and that would be fine. But I want to do what the audience would prefer in that case if I were to do a series like that. And I feel like it'd be more appropriate to probably, if I wanted to do more thorough testing on something, then I could see it being in a video. But if I wanted to do more short form testing and just to kind of roll through things more quickly, then I could see a live stream potentially making more sense. It's all in what people want to watch, I guess, ultimately speaking. So I don't know. I'll have to decide on that. Maybe you guys can give me some advice on how you'd want to see that sort of thing. But in addition to that, I want to get back into doing some of the benchmarking videos. And with that, I've seen some people that were commenting on the New Year's live stream asking me for a capture card solution. Should I just use a capture card solution or something like that? No, it's not what they said at all, but references to a capture card. And believe me, I have been keeping that in my head for several months now. And it may happen that at some point I'll get myself a capture card. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm thinking about which one to buy at the moment, but I got to set aside some money for it. And with that, what that'll allow me to do, and what I've been wanting to do now for the longest possible freaking time, I want to redo some of the old software videos in better quality. That's just something that's irked me, the way that I made them before. I mean, of course, I'm not going to try to go out of my way to throw myself under the bus for the stuff that I made previously. It's already out there on the channel. Of course, it is what it is. I feel like I can improve those and do better if I get a capture card. So there are use cases for it in the works, and obviously when I get it, then that'll be something that I can venture into. Not the least of which is, of course, doing direct captures for GPU benchmarks or laptop benchmarks, which is stuff that I want to do too. And that would just make a nice clean output. It would also mean that for GPU testing on a laptop, that also gives me the best possible shot at getting the best possible performance out of that hardware. And so that way it doesn't create a bottleneck trying to benchmark and screen capture on the same hardware, which takes more time, potentially takes more time. And it would make a fun video style. I've been influenced by this by a fellow YouTuber channel, Zworms Gaming, or Zworms Gaming. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm sorry. But the guy goes by Crisp, and he makes some fantastic content on this very topic. And it sounds fun. It looks fun. And I've got tons of hardware that I could use in boxes over there and inside of other computers that I could make a lot of fun content with. Just seeing like, hey, what can this play and how does it play it and should you get it or stuff like that. It's one of those things where it could be a lot of fun. And also a little shout out to Random Gaming in HD as well, because of course without him I probably wouldn't have even had the same remote level of influence on doing the benchmarking stuff that I would have today if it wasn't primarily for him and the other channel I mentioned. So some things like that, you know, makes the world feel a lot smaller than it actually is. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but that is a avenue of content that I want to go down, and eventually that'll happen once I get the capture card. I'm sure that'll help massively with the quality. And I'm thinking if I'm going to do 1080p for that to start out with, just to buy like a lower end device, or if I want to just jump in the deep end and just get something that supports 4K, like an internal Elgato 4K 60 Pro or something like that, I think is what they're called. And maybe I could just buy one of those. I saw one secondhand for like $150, which is pretty decent pricing for the 4K 60 Pro. So maybe it might be worth it. That also is a use case for the external devices like the Elgato HD, I think it's the 60X, HD 60X. So I thought about that too, because I could totally have a blast with an external USB-C capture card for live streams. That thing would be killer. And honestly, I might get both. Who knows? That's not out of the question. So I don't know. You know, maybe I'll just get the external one first and see if it's worth buying the internal one for the more professional form content. I don't know. We'll see. However, I am still going to be realistic in my expectations with regards to what I'm able to do. And that is, of course, work and life balance. I have not been really following that, and that's showed because I've been tired and I've not been on a very good sleep schedule, and it's been affecting my performance at work sometimes and otherwise. So I just, you know, if I'm not feeling up to doing certain stuff, then it's just, that's how it is. I mean, I'm not going to try to beat around the bush. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions, and I don't need other people influencing them for me. So if it's not like I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, you know, if I don't get around to making a video project or something right away, then so be it. You know, I haven't had a break in years, and I only say this not because I'm trying to be selfish in front of the camera here. What I'm saying is that over the past few years, and this is a really stupid decision on my part, from when I went from my first job to the one that I'm at now, I never did utilize my vacation time. It was kind of a stupid, boneheaded move on my part. I should have done that before going into the new job. It was already there. It was already technically paid for. I should have used it. That was a stupid decision on my part. So do expect that there probably is going to be a time where I'll probably grind out a ton of content and then just take a break for like a couple of weeks or a month and kind of just relax for a bit and take some time for myself, whether it be vacationing or some other personal improvements, some other chores, some other things that I could do, not the least of which could potentially be trying to make a nicer looking setup in here for all the stuff that I want to do, and that may not even be what happens. So, of course, if I'm going to do a renovation thing, it's not realistic, it's not going to happen, but if it would be nice if I could. I mean, I would like to improve the setup here so that way it's more practical for me, but I also have to be realistic. This isn't my place, and long term, I may not even be here in the next 5 years. Let's just be realistic here. So part of me wanting to, and this just goes back to the other idea, part of me wanting to go through all my hardware is going to be figuring out what I want to do with it. And this isn't a formal announcement of me saying like, oh, hey, I'm going to go and do like a community yard sale on the internet, and everybody from YouTube who's around in a similar area can come and buy my stuff. No, that may or may not happen. I mean, that's a huge risk for any YouTuber to do something like that, let alone selling stuff on like eBay, for example, or even freaking like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or other marketplaces that might be in your area, because different regions of the world have different services, but you get the same idea. So being real, that's part of another thing. Because of the long-term goal, I don't believe I'm probably going to be here within the next 5 years. So being realistic, I can't keep everything that I have. As fun as that would be, as cool as that would be, I have to be realistic. Some stuff's got to go. Whether it be redundant hardware, or whether it just be stuff that I had for a while, I had my fun with, but it's time to move on. Or stuff that I could just sell to like flip for a quick profit or something. And it's not that I won't buy stuff. I mean, obviously I'm in a love for hardware. I love a lot of hardware, but just being realistic, I can't keep everything, so, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Whatever it takes, I guess. But yeah, once again, I think I'm pretty much going to wrap this up. I'm going to finish off my New Year's Day here by making this video and getting it up onto the tubes and figuring out what comes next. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I hope you all had a great New Year's yourself, and I hope you have some great plans for your 2024, and hopefully things will be great for you just as they may have been for you last year. So hopefully I will see you all more frequently in the future, and we'll have some great content to put up for people and blah, 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 blah. Or if you want to join the Discord server, of course, the link will be down below in the description. And with that, I think I'm going to get away from this camera because I am exhausted from the stream from yesterday, and I'm needing to get myself ready for work. So isn't that just fun? So bye for now.